About a year ago, we tested the Mazda MX-5 soft top with the sports package. At the time, it was a brand new update with the ND3 model, and it included things like new LED headlights, new LED taillights, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, adaptive cruise control, and more importantly, an asymmetrical limited slip differential. Today, we have the 2025 carryover model, but it is the RF hardtop version, so let's check it out. For 2025, there are two trims for the RF MX-5, the GS-P and the GT, which respectively have their own performance upgrade package. On the GS-P, it's called the Sports Package, and on the GT, it's called the Grand Sport Package. In addition to that, you also have a 6-speed automatic transmission available. But do note that you do lose out on quite a few performance goodies, including those sports packages, if you go with the automatic version. The base RF GS-P, which is what we have right here, starts at about 45,000 Canadian dollars after deliveries, and the top GT trim, including the Grand Sport package, will set you back about 52. Trim for trim, the soft top is $3,000 cheaper than the RF. In addition to that, the soft top also gets a couple more trims in addition to the RF, like the base GS model, and for this year specifically, the 35th anniversary special edition. Under the hood is a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline-4 producing 181 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 151 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. This is the Skyactiv G engine, which has a compression ratio of 13:1 and also a redline of 7,500 RPM. 6-speed manual transmission comes standard, but a 6-speed auto is available. Power goes to the rear wheels only, but through an asymmetrical limited slip differential. Over to the side, this MX-5 uses double wishbone suspension in the front and a multi-link setup in the rear. The RF also comes standard with Bilstein shocks. As for wheels and tires, you're looking at 205/45 R17s all around. These are metallic black alloy rims and Bridgestone Potenza S001 tires. If you go for the sports package, you will get a set of upgraded forged BBS alloy rims and also upgraded Brembo brakes. Around back, in terms of looks, I really like the two roof humps. I think they look super cool, but I don't like the fact that there is this strut plate connecting the two humps. Now I'm sure it's there for a reason, probably for rigidity, but the soft top didn't have it, so I'm sure it doesn't need it on this hardtop version. Now, if it didn't have that plate over there, I think the open top experience would be far greater and it'll also look much cooler. But anyway, onto the trunk. Unlike the Supra, we actually have an exterior trunk release button. So you can just press the button over there and it opens, all good. Inside, it's actually fairly deep, so you do get a decent amount of trunk space in such a small form factor vehicle. You can fit a carry-on luggage here, plus a couple of bags if you squeeze it in. Jumping inside, as expected, there isn't a whole lot of space, but I do fit very comfortably. The seats aren't as supportive as I would like, and I think the Recaro ones from the sports package are better in both comfort and support, but unless you're doing long trips in this MX-5 RF with the base seats, it shouldn't be much of a problem. Now this GS-P comes standard with heated seats, 8.8-inch infotainment screen which supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. They're wired. If you want to go wireless, you have to go with the GT trim. It also has Bose sound system, which includes speakers inside the headrest. Overall, the fit and finish in this MX-5 is really good, but the big disclaimer is still to know what you're getting yourself into, because in terms of storage space, there really isn't much. You don't get a glove box, and this center console storage compartment is extremely small. So the only compartment you get in the cabin is this one right here, which still isn't big. So if you have a couple of things that you want to put, like your wallet, your phone, your keys, things like that, be mindful of that. But with that said, the interior space is not what this car is about at all. So let's go for a drive. I think in terms of a fun driving and easy to drive sports car, this takes the cake. The clutch, the shifter, and the engine just feels so in sync and so seamless. The clutch is short, but is very linear, and the bite point is very easy to gauge. The shifter, even though it's not very heavy, it still feels notchy and very mechanical. And the engine, sure, it doesn't have a whole lot of power, but the response is really good. Oh, it just feels so nice. The clutch, the engine, and the shifter setup in this car is just so easy to drive, but at the same time, it also feels extremely rewarding to drive as well. Oh man. But what about all those people that are saying this car is underpowered, yada yada yada? Well, to that I say that's not what this MX-5 is about. This MX-5 is about driving a slow car fast, and it's always more fun than to drive a fast car slow. Because this car is so small and you're so low to the ground, it always feels like you're speeding even though you're not. And that's honestly perfect because you get the adrenaline rush, but you won't get arrested. In addition to that, I'm also able to push the car to its limits without feeling like I'm gonna kill myself. The handling, the steering, everything is so controllable. There's no snap oversteer, there's no losing control, because when you're driving this MX-5, you just know exactly what the car is gonna do next. It's very predictable, and you just kind of become one with the car. Pro tip, that DSC track mode should be your new best friend. A secondary benefit to a small car with a small engine is fuel economy. On the highway with the top up, I was able to manage about 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers. And in the city, even when I'm driving a little more enthusiastically, it's still under 8 liters per 100 kilometers. To me, that's a win-win, because not only do you get good miles per gallon, you also get great miles per gallon. Aside from the fact that there aren't enough twisty roads around my area, the only thing I haven't been amazed with this MX-5 is the exhaust soundtrack. It's just a little boring, and there's a little bit of droning as well on the highway. So from the factory, if I can get something that's a little more exciting, that would be great. Anyway, let's put the roof up and see how that feels. If you're considering an RF, you might also be interested in knowing what kind of creature comfort this model gives you. So as standard, this GS-P model has adaptive cruise control, blind spot warning, lane departure warning, rear cross traffic alert, and also hill start assist. So whether if you're learning manual for the first time with the MX-5 or have decided to daily commute this car, you should be pretty covered. Okay, but the real question is RF or soft top? In terms of looks, I do prefer the soft top over the hard top. I just think that one looks a little bit more traditional and a little bit better. But the RF does undeniably bring a few benefits. The main one being the fact that it's way quieter inside here on the highway. There's less rain noise, less wind noise, and the highway experience with the RF is just better. The second benefit is that since the RF has a power roof, you don't have to do it manually. And while that may not seem like a big deal for most people, if you have a bad shoulder, it might be a big deal, because you do have to reach quite far back to push down or pull up the roof on the soft top version. Then the third benefit is longevity and security. The hardtop roof is just going to last longer than a soft top, especially here in Canada. Here we get snow, we get cold winters, we get hot summers, we have rain, we have a lot of sun. It's just, in my opinion, if you want to keep this car for a longer period of time, the RF is just gonna do that better. The hardtop is also slash proof and more secure, so depending on the area that you live, that might be a concern as well. With that said, the RF does have a few drawbacks. The first one being it's 40 kilos heavier than the soft top version. And then the second being the fact that it takes way longer to open and close the roof. And also, you cannot do it if you're going over 10 kilometers an hour. So it's really up to you which one you would prefer, which suits you better in terms of needs. At the end of the day, you can't go wrong with either the soft top or the RF. They're both extremely fun to drive and they're extremely easy to drive as well. In my opinion, the soft top experience is a little bit more authentic, is a little bit more traditional, but the RF has a little bit more creature comfort. But again, they're both extremely fun to drive. Look at that. Oh man, you can just do it in any sort of corner because even small roads feel like they're wide roads. So with this car, you just can do so many fun things, even if you're going slowly. Anyway, back to my point, I think the RF is a little bit more dailyable and has a little bit more creature comfort. But at the end of the day, like what I said last year when I reviewed the soft top, if you don't need 4 seats and you're okay with having 2 seats in a small car and you have a bunch of twisty roads around your area, what are you waiting for? You should be paying your Mazda dealership a visit. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.